final subject we wanted to touch on a little bit on here was in a recent episode of one of my favorite podcasts that I listen to. There was, actually, there's two things that I've heard. Drake was featured on The Shop with LeBron James, and I think we talked about this last week.
Super cool concept to the show. Do I think that it's like the most honest? Not necessarily, but I think it's a cool concept because basketball players and rappers have always had a really good dynamic. They've always kind of been friends, and it kind of goes hand in hand. Like, I don't know who said, I forget. All rappers want to be basketball players. All basketball players want to be rappers.
For all the test of time. That's exactly what that is.
Yeah, and they've always cross-admired one another.
Yes.
So I think it's really cool for those reasons. And at the end of the day, anything LeBron James does really kind of just becomes mainstream because he's like LeBron James.
And I think this is the slow progression. And my theory is LeBron moves to LA for his kids, for his future, because that's the rumor, but also because LeBron owns a media company. People, he's working on Space Jam 2. He's doing these little things now, all this little shows and stuff like that. So it's just the progression of that. Yeah. And that's what LA was, the strategic move for himself personally.
Yeah, and when he retires, he's still going to be out there.
Yeah, he's just going to be obviously out there, yeah, in LA. But in a conversation with Drake recently, Drake said that he shared a picture with Kanye West of his son. He flew out to Wyoming during the time frame that Kanye was recording, helping Kanye write some songs. Kanye then provided him with a beat, and then Kanye released the beat with the scoopity scoop poop shit. So that would be pissed if someone did it to me. I don't know where this stems from that they've become these trolling folks. No one shared that or devoured that. But it's been like these weird little things that are happening. Kanye obviously put out all those albums that came out around the same time of June of Drake's date. So the little things that you think a friend would never do to you, and that is not your friend first. And then he mentioned that, he shared this a picture of his son, the son's name, told him information between himself and the mother of his child situation. And then once the beef has arisen, because this beef has been always there, but once one song dropped, Drake dropped another, and then the second song by Pusha T had all this information in there. We assume, and Drake assumed in the moment, that Kanye provided that information.
Well, Drake kind of broke it down, and they've been playing the audio many times, and I'm sure a lot of you heard it. Drake explained multiple times that chronologically, it seemed as if this information came through Kanye, and he felt betrayed because he told Kanye in confidence, and he felt like it was just a move for like sales, and then we also learned that Kanye and Drake kind of have like a fake friends type of friendship. I kind of gathered that.
It's a weird situation because he said even 40 called him and said something is weird out here before you get here, and Drake said, no, it's okay, I'm coming. So even your friend was warning you like something's off out here. And I think if you were to call me and say, hey, Marley, FYI, the vibe is funny. What do you just know I'm feeling kind of weird. I think I would still say, well, let me come. You know what I mean? Like it still would be.
I mean, it still moves. It's still, at the end of the day, Kanye is still Kanye. You feel me? And it is what it is. That's not act like Drake is not going to show up. You know what I mean? Like ultimately. Like, of course, they all act like they don't care and everybody's big and bad, but business-wise, like, you're going to go. If you're a music artist, if Kanye's inviting you somewhere, you're going to make music, you're going to go.
Yeah, and I think that's what made him like, I'm still going. Right. Like, no, don't worry about it. It's just whatever. I'll go out there. So the week passed, and my favorite podcast, the Joe Budden Podcast, had Pusha T on their show, and Pusha shares something interesting because they had an interesting conversation about this.
They did. I agree. And my favorite part was that Drake doesn't own June.
No, you don't own June, motherfucker.
June is not yours. All right, but back to what you were saying.
That is very true. But Pusha T then shares that the information that he received was not from Kanye. It was from a girl who is sleeping with 40. And 40, don't forget, is the longtime producer, best friend, numero uno of Drake, or numero two from Drake.
He's the magic.
He's the beat maker. He's everything. He's the gentleman with MS that Pusha T talks about in that song. So shares that the information comes from a girl that he's sleeping with, that he's sharing all this information to, and got to Pusha T.
Pillow talking.
Pillow talk. Now, as a woman, we pillow talk. I'm sure you pillow talk, because there's something about laying with your significant other and talking shit about your friends, or not even shit, like in a bad sense, like, did you hear the shit this bitch did? Or did you hear this foolishness
that's why it's important to be with a good partner, because a lot of those decisions are made at those moments. A lot of those money-making moves are made at those moments when sometimes, and this is the facts, and that's why I always tell everyone, especially my male friends, you have to have a really good woman in your life. You have to have a woman that's smart, because guys do that. They have to sometimes empty out whatever it is that's going on in their head, and they have to, like, and they need someone who's going to be able to talk to you in a way that makes sense. Like, it's the theory of, like, when a man and a woman get a divorce, and let's say, for the most part, being that we are in a matriarchal society, most of the time the male is the business owner, on average. You know what I'm saying? So once you establish that understanding, a lot of the reasons why these businesses get to the point is because they do have a woman in their side that is giving them strategic advice, and that they're having those conversations with, and they're having those struggles with their business partner, and they're venting to their wives, they're venting to their girlfriends. And these women are saying, don't be stupid, stay focused. This is money. Like, you having these type of level conversations, and that is priceless. So men and women do talk about their business frustrations with their significant other, bro.
And that's what 40 did in that bed, was share his frustration with Drake, with that girl he was sleeping with.
Yeah.
Now, how much confidence he had in this girl, how much he knew this girl, we don't know. If there's been a relationship with her, blah, blah, blah. Obviously, she can't be trusted but here's the other catch.
Based on the interview, it seems as if he's in love with the girl. Based on the interview. We don't know if it's facts, but if you listen to the Joe Budden's podcast interview, it seems as if he's in love with this young lady, 40.
But also, let's not forget, this rumor about this baby has always been around. Has always been, since the moment she was pregnant. This has been an existing thing for a very long time. The only difference is the song confirmed it. No, Drake confirmed it himself. That song could have just continued to be rumor. But because the way Pusha T kept put it out there, and because of the hype that everything was, made it factual. But everyone, like, if you are, especially for like a person on Twitter, if you follow a lot of the news things, it's always existed. It's just Drake's team did a really great job to make that shit die down.
Right, but wasn't the girl's like bio that Drake is a deadbeat dad?
Yes, for a very long time. He's been tweeting about this forever, people. We've just not been, we love and adore this man. That everything was just, he's really kept it really low key. And he's not a person to share all of it. Unless it's a girl he's just only dating. He shared all that. But I wanted to...
It's a little messy too, so...
Yeah.
He wasn't going to necessarily announce it like that.
We weren't very happy for him in the way this... Like, this wasn't what we wanted. Just like, for him, is the same thing he was, not the direction he was hoping to go as well. Right. As he shared it on his songs.
Right.
But the conversation about this pillow talk thing and being cautious of your friends. Yeah, I think you do need someone to vent to. You do need that significant other who's got your back, who you can spill everything to and say, like, oh, I heard Jamie Dunn went out with this other guy and all this foolishness, but now I gotta hear her. Like, you can express those things to your significant other so they can kind of direct you,
I mean, it's like, Barack was talking to Michelle.
Yeah, all day.
You know that.
Talking shit all day in that overall bed. Or what's the bedroom called? Somebody's Lincoln's bedroom, whatever. They was talking shit all day.
Yeah. I have a rule with pillow talk. Me personally, if I'm going through a situation and that situation has me frustrated, or I'm disappointed in the way something worked out with my friend, or I don't like a behavior that my friend has been having lately. I will talk about those things. But one thing about me, I'm real big on if you and I had a personal conversation and that personal conversation took place 5 years ago and that was a very borderline embarrassing or sensitive subject to you, I'm not going to tell my boyfriend that, because in reality that doesn't change anything between his dynamic with me. It doesn't help or hinder. I'm just being a chimosa at that point. Like there's no point.
This is more about in the moment, things that are occurring, situations that matter, a funny thing that happened when you and your friends went out. Like you're talking about your day, your night, you know, that's what's happening. Pillow talk. That's like before the night is over, before we're going to bed. Things, right? Like you're saying everything and then you're going to bed quietly. Like those kind of things. No, this is not like the shit from 10 years ago that someone did to you.
It's inappropriate. I think it's inappropriate. Yeah.
And this obviously is 40 venting for the moment, right? All these things that were happening that moment, him venting out to this girl, whatever happened between him and this girl, and they she shared it with whoever she shared it with. Again, it wasn't new news, but it was still the way that re-entering this news and Drake confirming it was really the bigger.
I believe Pusha T.
I believe Pusha T too. And because Drake's was just a timeline of events.
Right.
He wasn't saying anyone did anything. He was just saying these were the concurring timeline of events that occurred, and this is how I see it.
And if I were in Drake's position, I would probably assume the same. So I understand why that was his interpretation.
Exactly. And then you hear Kanye, you know, when he was walking and he was doing the video where he was walking under the train tracks, and he goes, I didn't tell, this was weeks before this Drake interview, before this Pusha one, where he says, I didn't say anything about your son. I didn't share it. Now we can believe him and say, you know, Kanye's literally saying blah, blah, blah. But Kanye wants Drake to say Kiki's not about Kim. I don't know if that's going to happen because he seemed mad.
I think it's just fun to fuck with him at this point.
Because you fucked with him.
Right. And it's like Kanye has proven that he's a little two-faced sometimes. From what I'm gathering, he's a little two-faced. He thinks of his greater good. You know what I mean? And I don't really know if he necessarily wants Drake to win always, because he wants himself to win. It's just like a friendly competition with someone. Like the only competition that they have is with each other at this point.
Who else? Well, I think
who else is as famous as both of them? Like at this point, at this climate, who's both as famous as Kanye and Drake? And people always say, if you do a track with Kanye, that's just gonna be a hit. If you do a track with Drake, it's gonna be a hit. Like everything is seasonal. But I really don't think right now there's two male rappers in the game that have the amount of clout that them two have, where it's like that's a guarantee moneymaker if they're featured.
Maybe a Travis Scott, but he's not at that level.
No, but Travis Scott is just very trendy right now.
Yeah.
And he has a very catchy and all that shit, which is really cool. And he has a sound. And the best part about Travis Scott, which is one of the reasons why I really like his album, is that the music changes throughout the song and it becomes another song. It becomes two songs in one. And I've always been kind of obsessed with that about him. So it's like, cool, original, different. Travis Scott, young, you're dating Kylie, you had a baby. Cool. You're out there, you're trending. Okay, but then we would say then that's a Migo effect, because the Migos are
Migos is a trending aspect also.
They're a trending aspect. Like no matter what they do is a hit. If their feature is dope, they're on tour with Drake.
They're not gonna escalate it or extend it to a whole other aspect where Drake or Kanye featured on something. Takes it to another.
That will make your career.
Especially Drake, because it'll mainstream it in a sense.
It will make your career. It will be that you're that artist that's at 100,000 views, and if you have Drake on your video, Kanye, you're gonna hit the million.
Yeah. The competition is only between them. I think Jay-Z has bowed out. He does when he wants to, and so he scales at his own pace,
as he should.
He's deserved that and earned it. So he's outside of that. And I do think between J. Cole is another, and Kendrick also, where they can come on their own and people are still going to have them. They don't have to.
strong, but they don't have the Kanye and Drake effect.
No, they don't have to worry about it. They don't have to like push it on us and shove it down us. Drake is always going to be, Drake is pop star status, and Kanye's star is now spreading himself very thinly everywhere.
Drake is the biggest act in our country.
And I will be seeing him next week because I'm going to figure out how to get some money to go see it.
That's fire. That's fire. I'm going to try. I was kind of actually happy that they canceled the one down here and then they rescheduled it to come down back.
That's right. That's right. I forgot about that. But I think this whole take has been interesting. Hearing all three sides of the story was interesting. But I believe Pusha, but I believe Drake and his feelings and his emotions and what his thoughts were. He's completely correct to think and feel that way. And I liked, my favorite quote and all of that is, I'm not going to give you that energy. I'm going to put that energy into me, into something else.
Good for you, Drake.
When he said that in that, I loved it.
Thank you for going high when everybody else is going low.
When everybody goes low, we go high. Definitely. I didn't even think about that. Mm-hmm. And that wraps up our hip hop mode segment of the evening.
Yeah. One day it will be such a dream come true to be able to either let's just put it out there, be on the Joe Budden's podcast and just like be in that conversation space there, even if we're just like listening. That would be awesome. Because to me, it's like he took podcasting to another level, in my opinion. Like, yeah, everybody has their favorite podcaster and they've listened for either motivational stuff or for business stuff or for whatever it is that you listen to a podcast for. There's so many different subject matters as to why you listen to a podcast. But I feel like he brought it to another level, in my opinion. That's just me. And I will give credit when credit is due. And if I ever meet him, I will always tell him, like, yo, you took this podcasting game to another level, bro. Like you are dope. He's obviously opinionated and he's very arrogant, and it works for him. And it's interesting what he has to say. And his voice always projects in such a deep bass and voice that is like cool, especially because there's so many people on it. Sometimes you don't know who's speaking if you're just listening, but you always know it's Joe. So it's like, that's pretty cool about it. I really like that he has that unique tone to him. So it's like, he's awesome. And if we ever have the pleasure of ever being in that space, even watching him doing the podcast, that would be amazing. And if we were ever on the podcast, just having a conversation with him, that would be such a dream come true. Yep. So we're going to just speak it out there. We're going to put it into existence. And if we ever were so blessed to have one of the classic hip hop artists that have paved the way, the Pusha T's, the Clips, having both of y'all on it. If we could ever interview y'all, that would be so dope.
Just anyone who is like a hip hop like enthusiast and just like everything that you exude, like that would be amazing. Like people like on that scale, it's just because those are like, if you listen to that podcast, it's because they are all lovers of the music. Right. That it's just everyone has input and has knowledge about it, right? Like and that's why you can just like laugh and things. And it has pop culture a little bit involved in it, so it makes it a little bit funny too. Because if you don't know the history of things, like pop culture, like little history and tidbits, you'll be like, what the fuck? And then for those who do know, you'll be dying laughing, like this is insane. Like,
and it's funny, like you can keep up and like they're not even finishing their sentences sometimes, but you know exactly what they're talking about.
Exactly. So it's a really good room kind of feel. So shout outs to them being pioneers and taking it to a whole other level, signing contracts with Spotify, where you can find Messy Mondays on Spotify as well, if you're looking. Yeah. And I mean, the game is just, we're challenging it just like ourselves with this visual where you guys can see these beautiful faces, these $1 billion faces soon enough.
And I promise my face will most likely stay the same if I become a billionaire. I'm not promising you my body will, but I'm just letting you know.
There might be a couple changes. There might be a little. I'm just going to show y'all right now. This shit is going to be different.
There's going to be some stuff, guys. There's going to be some stuff. I'm for it. I'm not against it. I have never been against plastic surgery. I feel like, bitch, if that's what you need to do you, girl.
I have not. That's one thing I'm like, I have not done. I have not needed regular surgery. I think that's another, like I have never needed surgery for anything. And so I think that's my other part about plastic surgery was like, I haven't done anything like even necessary emergency medical things that I was like, not even a tattoo on my body. So I think a part of me is just like, don't do anything. You get what I mean? Like, it's just
scary
weird
to elect to do that to yourself.
Yeah, because it's not needed. It wasn't necessary, blah, blah, blah. So it's, for me right now, it's like, my body doesn't have anything. Stop it. And then you'll be like, okay, you need to get hand surgery or this and this. And you're just like, shit. I fear going under the knife because I've never had to go under. Like, I've never needed a reason.
I think that's 100% normal. I think that's an average feeling. But when you be watching these before and afters, girl.
Oh, then you'll be like, let me sign up. And I think I'm going to send you a message. This girl by the name of Johnny Blaze, who used to date Drake years ago, got fake abs.
Okay.
It looks like the only contouring happening on her stomach. And I was like, see, this is the fear of plastic surgery that I'm talking about.
Crazy though?
Great. We'll take a moment. I'll send you this on the side.
By the way, men do plastic surgery too, honey.
Oh, all the time.
And they get lipo, and they get stuff, and they get calf implants, and they get all kinds of nonsense.
Calf expansions is crazy to me.
And they do eyelash extensions. Men do it all, honey. And they get facials, and they wear makeup. Like, the game is changing out here, ladies and gentlemen. Men are not with the shits of not looking fly. And no, they're not all gay, honey.
They're just trying to keep up with all the ladies. There you go. Check out your text message.
Let's check this chick out. No. She thinks that looks cute, though.
Super cute. And she is walking out here with it fully showing, fully out, the whole nine. And this is a real doctor out in...
No, I've heard of this before. I know people do this, but I don't like it. I think that at the end of the day, things have to make sense. And this doesn't look like it makes sense. You know what I mean?
It doesn't make sense at all.
You know how, like, usually women that have those type of bodies, they're very thin on this part.
Mm-hmm.
And she doesn't really have that. She has a great body. I don't even know why she did that.
Yeah, it was extreme, but I've never seen something like that. But those aren't the kind of things we'll be doing with the $1 billion or the 100,000 that you donate to us. We won't be doing those things.
There you go.
Well, this has been a fantastic episode of Messy Mondays. If you want to submit a question, have any comments, concerns, want to join us at any time here on our YouTube live streaming, you can contact us at messymondayspod@gmail.com. Also follow us on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, Messy Mondays Podcast. You can follow me on Instagram at lovemarley, LUVMARLEY_. And you can follow ShoMi at
SHOMI_ENT. And that's on Instagram and on Twitter.
Yes. And we had fun. Oh, by the way, I was watching some of the BET Hip Hop Awards, and BET retweeted us, and we got like 1,000 people liking and resharing, and my phone was blowing up. And I was like, I need to be careful of that one more time, because it gets very annoying, like the notifications.
Yeah.
Like my phone, like I thought like the world had ended. So it's very dangerously. But I appreciate everyone who new followers to our Twitter and things like that, and those of you following us. I was just making some commentary and some jokes out there. So
and thank you, BET. I was gonna say something not so positive, but I'll keep that to myself now.
Yep, keep it now. Keep it to yourself.
Thank you, BET. We're also open to being the first podcast on BET as well. Just let us know.
We're accepting all sponsorships that are connected and aligned with the brand that is Messy Mondays.
Absolutely, guys. And thank you so much, guys, for keeping everything in the positive and showing us love. Also, shout out to the Power of the Mind Conference 2018. It was very cool. I was actually so honored to be a part of the event coordinating staff and helping them out and making sure that everything went well. And shout out to all the vendors that I met some really cool girls and a lot of people that are self-starters. That was really awesome. I actually met a few people that are from Uganda, and that was an honor and a pleasure. Cool. Hopefully they'll be a part of our podcast because they're very interested in being on our show one of these days. It was a very positive woman empowerment weekend. They had a bunch of stuff going on. Unfortunately, I couldn't make the social brunch today because I had other things to take care of, but I hope you girls had a great time with all your unlimited mimosas. And we hope to see a lot more in the future. And make sure to also let us know and tag us on our Instagram or Twitter if there's anything going on that you guys want us to mention or shout out that is positive and is about self-development and is about, you know, spreading good energy. We are advocates of that as well, and we'll be more than happy to mention it on the podcast.
Awesome. And have a great weekend, guys.
Messy Mondays. Your girl ShoMi. Your girl Marley Mar.